We start with an idea, usually a subject, that then we will research for several months. At some point we start getting a sense of what the user's interaction with the system is going to be, why is it going to be fun. And then we start the process of building the model. And we have to take a very layered approach to building these models, because the kind of simulations we do are generally social simulations as opposed to vehicle simulations or whatnot. Social simulations really are a lot more difficult to build than something like a flight simulator, which is much more straightforward. So we start with the core behaviors, we get those tuned, and then we start layering on more and more subtle behaviors. And the process of building that model is probably one of the most critical skills we have in the marketplace. So the process of designing a game is very much like climbing up a tree. Every branch is a potential decision point, a different way the design can go. Based on our experience and guided by intuition, we're getting better and better at knowing which branches we should take, both on a technical level, what data structure do I use to simulate a particular thing, but also on the user interaction level, what fundamental dynamics are more entertaining, more fun to play with. Every simulation we do, we basically build from the ground up. And really, it's the experience we have in how to build these models that gives us efficiency. If we tried to reuse the same code over and over, it would be of very little help, but the fact that we know just the right order to build and tune the models saves us a lot of time and a lot of experimentation. So every model is custom built for its particular purpose and is as efficient as we can possibly make it. I just know what kind of games I like to play. I mean, in essence, that is kind of the way I go about it, is what do I want to play? What kind of game would I really enjoy? And it's really hard to go back and say, what would this person like? I know he doesn't like what I like, so I'm going to have to put myself in his mindset and design a game that he would like. A lot of people do that and they fail miserably. Really, the best games I've seen were designed by people designing it for themselves. This is really very much of an art, not a science at all. On some level, it's a science, engineering the software for particular behaviors. But the user interaction and why somebody finds these fun is very much an art. And that's where past experience is probably the most valuable thing to bring to the task. As people investigate chaos theory, what they're really looking at are the underlying principles through which a system behaves. Chaotic systems, as most people know, are very sensitive systems that can swing in wildly different directions based on very minor differences at the outset. A lot of systems that we deal with on a common basis, human social systems, cities, traffic, are basically chaotic. One accident on the freeway can cause a huge traffic jam and gridlock over a large area. So people deal with chaos in the real world all the time, but very rarely do they see the mechanisms and the envelope of behavior of these chaotic systems, and that's what we allow them to explore in our software. And a related aspect of that is what's known as emergent behavior, where you can take very simple rules, and by combining them you get very elaborate behavior. And this is really the essence of our models. Rather than building an incredibly complicated model in sort of a system dynamics approach, we tend to fall back to more of a emergent cellular dynamics approach, where we can encode very simple rules in just the right way and with the right balances, so that you get a very complex system that's every bit as unpredictable as reality. And that's, in large part, that's where the real feeling of our models comes from.